Okay, welcome and hello everyone. So today's channel reading is going to be a collective reading, obviously, but I was meditating just before I came on here, and then after I was meditating, I got a phone call, and it really energetically threw me off. So I think this reading is probably going to have something to do with that. But yes, before I get into the reading, I am going to cleanse the space. I don't know what the reading is going to be about. I've left it open for spirit. I felt called to do that too while I was meditating. I clear and cleanse the space of negative and low vibrational energies. I set the intention of channeling for our highest good. Thank you, thank you. Amen, spirit. Might as well get the decor right. Christmas decorations, which by the way, I don't know how you guys are feeling, but I'm feeling pretty excited for the holidays. This year I get to actually spend it with a family I feel like I was able to create on my own, not necessarily because I wouldn't had kids, but because I found people who actually love me for who I am. Inside and out, and I don't need to be perfect in front of these people. I don't need to act a certain kind of way. They only expect me to be myself, and I think that's the essence of soul family. It's just people that love you for who you are, and to be honest, they've always been present in my life, but I never really relied on them until I grew to love myself. Until I grew to love myself enough that I would allow others to see who I really am, and if they did not love me for who I am, I don't know where the accent just came from, then they, then whatever, fuck those guys. But it was by standing in my authentic truth that I was actually able to attract these soulmates into my life. So in case anybody was curious, also in my head, like all day, I've been picturing like how I would do this. Like I would show you guys my nails and then play the dun dun da da, like some like drama horror movie music, because they're just ghastly. But when I look at them now, I'm like, they're really not that bad. Yeah, it's that time. I can't get them redone, so it's the awkward outgrowing them stage. Well, anywho, today we have two decks present. This is the tarot deck I will be using. I love this deck because it is just like, so, it's just everything. It's really just everything. I freaking love this deck. Yeah. And I love the imagery too. It tells in tarot, each card does tell a story, but in this particular deck, I feel like each card truly does tell a story. And depending on the energy that comes with the card, right, it's like, it paints a picture, and it really helps me as a tarot reader. And here I have the Starseed Oracle. So this Oracle deck, it's been praised by other tarot readers. If you guys were curious, it's the Starseed Oracle by Rebecca Campbell, and any work by this person is amazing, or so I've heard. I only have the one book, the one deck for now anyway. But yeah, I just felt like giving the decks a shout out in case anybody was curious. This deck is also called the Tarot of the Abyss, right? So with that out the way, I am in a better energy, and yeah. So let's see, Spirit, what is this reading going to be about? Excuse the mess on the desk. I'm gonna move these out the way too, and I have my channeled messages deck in case we are in need of some channeled messages. But what is this reading going to be about, Spirit? And I want to set the intentions of not reporting on a past lover, but anything else. Literally anything else but that. Child, please. Also, lately, I've been trying to find out, you know, what my niche is as a tarot reader. I feel like every tarot reader has a niche, something that inevitably attracts the most attention and what helps them, like, in their own, like, business practices, like, what helps them succeed. And I've been trying to figure out what my thing is. Because, you know, as put together as I may seem, I'm just like you. I'm just like everybody else. All right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I kind of feel called to just a little bit of chit chat, you know, get to know me. So, you know, I got a phone call after my meditation, and this is a particular person I've known, like, for a while. And this is somebody that I love and I cherish because they do play an important role in my life. But this is also somebody that energetically sets me off. Like, talking to this person, I feel like, is another way of regressing. You guys notice how the same couple of cards keep coming out? So I think they're ready. Cards are ready. But yeah, and I mean, I chose to answer the phone because this is somebody that I want to create space in my life for this person. Because, again, I love them and I do want a connection with them, but I just know my life would be better without them. And that's the truth. Anyway, it's tough shit doing the right thing. Because not everybody around you does the right thing. Tough shit. Anyway, what's this reading going to be about, Spirit? We've got the Six of Swords in reverse. So what is the Six of Swords? This could be something you tried to walk away from. Maybe you weren't successful. This could be something that you're being guided back to against your will. What is the Six of Swords? So yeah, it does seem like it is some sort of opportunity with the aces here. A start of some sort. Can I get a clarifier for the Six of Swords, Spirit? Okay, the Page of Wands. This is also at the bottom of the deck. So okay, and what about the Ace of Pentacles? Two of Wands. And the Ace of Cups, Spirit? Wow, this is something, it's taking you a lot of strength to, but you, wow. Wow, but this is beautiful. I see this as the collective watching. You guys are people that have made the difficult decision in life. When you choose to love yourself in this lifetime, you are going against systems. And particularly the term coming to me is systematic. You are walking away from huge things. Holy shit, you are some sort of curse breaker of the lifetime, baby. Curse breaker of the lifetime. In this lifetime, you have essentially freed all karmic related curses that your family has developed for eons, centuries, decades. Okay, every one of them. I'm talking about the very first time one of your great-great-grandparents has entered a karmic relationship where they were being abused. You guys have made the difficult decision to walk away from these karmic cycles and trust the universe knows. That's one message. You guys are coming with this energy towards life of completion. Like you want to see it all. You want to feel it all. You want to live a complete and satisfied life, because the World card is telling me this is where you're destined to go. But the path you get there is going to be filled with a lot of trials and tribulations. And I'm sure that you know, at this point in your journey, you're aware of it. But I really see this group as you guys are walking away from the things that are not going to be fulfilling you. That's just this, oh my gosh, that's the decision. Oh, that was so hard for me to say. That is the decision you've chosen to make in this lifetime. But it came not necessarily because it was second nature. For some of you, maybe, you know, it's in your nature to stand up for yourself when you feel like you're not getting what you deserve. But for others of you, this is something you learned from some sort of trial, some sort of lesson, some sort of challenge. You learned why it is you choose yourself, because you learned what happens when you don't. You have to kind of learn the hard way. But either way, you came here to break some curses, baby, and period. However, as happy as I want to be for you, I know it came at a great cost. I know it came at sleepless nights and heartache that you can't even describe. I know it wasn't easy. I know because I am you. And you are me. We came here to learn these lessons, and damn it, they did these lessons beat our ass, okay? But period. Here you are in this present day, probably feeling very drained from what you've chosen to walk away. But it's like unimaginable. You don't even know what hardships you escaped from by choosing the harder route, right? It's harder because in the moment it doesn't feel as satisfying, right? To choose yourself. This is what it looks like to choose yourself. So you meet someone new and you guys start to vibe and you're like, oh my gosh, this person's like actually kind of cool. And then over time, this person starts to display red flags. And you're like, oh, that's not super slay. That's not super great. I don't really like how this person does this. I don't like when they say this, or if they say that slur, or if they're like acting like this. Like, I don't really like their energy. I don't appreciate it as much. But it's fine for now because, you know, they're not treating me like that. And then, you know, it comes to the point where they do. They inevitably do. Like, let's be honest. If you're the type of person who knocks around, like if you beat up your shit, right, that means you do not have respect for what is yours. So how on earth could you have respect for what is others, right? Like, how, if you don't even respect yourself, you're not going to respect other people, and that's just 2 + 2 = 4, baby. And so it seems like you guys might have met people like that, or you were just in karmic situations. Either way, you know, you experienced what it was like to be with people and to see the progression and to kind of ignore the red flags out of love, really. But it wasn't love for you. It was love for this person, and the love that you gave to them was actually the love you were supposed to give to yourself. And so you learned through giving these people bits and pieces of yourself they didn't even really deserve. Simply so you wouldn't be alone. Simply so you could have company. Say that you have friends, even if you can't rely on them. It's better like that than to be alone. Or so you thought until this 10 of Swords. And this seems like multiple things. It wasn't just a few people. It was multiple people. And honestly, with this depiction, I'm kind of getting this vibe. Like, you were out here left to fend for yourself, stranded, and people were around you. You know, couldn't even been a crowd. And they just ignored your pain. Because that's the society we live in, right? Like, I mean, not to be weird, but, right, like, this happens all the time. Like, you drive by like 10 homeless people in a downtown area, each of them with their own sob story. I'm sure if we bother to listen, we'll find that like every single person had a good start of some sort. If not a good start, like maybe they didn't. But over time, right, they just betrayals, hurt, heartache, pain, like the combination and how those things warp a human soul, a heart, into acting the way that they do, right? It's just like, you know, looking for the escapes that they have. I really see here, there was a moment where it was really obvious to other people that you were hurting, or maybe it wasn't super clear, but it was just in your aura. If you're not the type to present when you're hurting, like you don't tell people or you hide it. Either way, it was just, people can tell with the way you look at others. your eyes in particular. Maybe they're a bit sunken, or like you could have like these little bags, and it may not necessarily be from age. It's just like from the things you have seen, it has chemically altered your appearance. And that's true. Like apparently trauma does that. So yeah, guys are survivors, warriors, powerful light beings, and you came here to feel a lot, and including the darker parts of life. But I like that for this for the strength card, it's completely black. Like that's the background. And to me, that the darkness kind of reminds me of the dark night of a soul. If you haven't heard of what that is, it's an experience of like several heartbreaks, maybe even trauma, that kind of give you this like oblique sense of life. Like you're just depressed, anxious, scared, combo, extremely upset. It could be over something, or it could be over a multitude of things, and it kind of it's such a intense darkness that you kind of lose sight of where the light is in life. And I feel like the strength card represents, you know, that's where true strength comes from, when you have been beaten until you feel like you have no energetic resistance, and still you manage to find the light in the dark. And I commend you for that. Okay, so 10 of Swords, Strength card, 2 of Wands, Page of Wands. So I'm feeling like, from experience, from making the wrong choices, heading towards the wrong things, the people that won't fulfill you, the people that show you their, you know, their red flags and you ignore them. It's something about experience. Like you had to experience it. Like someone could have told you, but you needed to go out there and see for yourself. Or, you know, maybe you didn't know. Maybe you weren't even aware what red flags were, and you just entered a connection. Maybe you've never been in a connection with, you know, a narcissist, or, you know, someone who's low vibrational, very toxic, and you had to learn by that, and maybe there was no way to warn you. But anyway, it just feels like you guys have made a decision. You've decided you're not going to take the offers that don't fulfill you. And instead, you are going to choose the places and... Hold on a minute. My door just like opened on its own. It happens. It's ghosts. No, it's just the wind. But if it was ghosts, that'd be kind of cool. Anyway, so what I was saying was you're not choosing the people and places and things that do not fulfill you. You are choosing the people, places, and things that do, right? And that's what takes more strength. And it seems like it came from like a loss from not doing it, and particularly like maybe you lost self-respect, self-love. This Ace of Cups, to me, it feels like you're giving it all to yourself. You're not offering that cup to nobody who doesn't deserve it. You're giving it to yourself. You said, fuck these people, you know, respectfully, or maybe you don't swear. I don't appreciate people who do not respect my time or my boundaries. I don't have space for them. Goodbye. All right. Same way to say what I said. Anyway, to me, it feels like the collective watching, you guys have made the difficult decision to love yourself, or, you know, you will be very soon. You're on that path. And this combination is interesting to me because I don't know if it's you coming back to a situation that doesn't fulfill you, if the situation is circling back around and you know better. There is some sort of murkiness with this Seven of Swords, Page of Wands energy, because they're both in the struggle position. You might have dealt with very immature people or spontaneous, like, really like destructive individuals, because the Page of Wands, like, I feel like, you know, is meant to create without limits, you know, and sometimes creation requires destruction. But with this particular energy, I'm getting like aimless. It was aimless, like people that were like trying to hurt others for the sake of hurting, not even because it benefited them in any way. Not really, because with this Page of Wands, it's not a whole lot of foresight. Six of Swords, it's something about like situations and places and peoples and things, and it's like, you know, maybe there was a time where giving to these people, places, and things, causes made you feel complete or whole, but at this time, you've outgrown it, or maybe it never benefited you, and you just tried it anyway, and for a while you were satisfied with the results until, you know, it's like it dawned on you, or it became clear one day, or you learned from experience that it's not what's in your best interest to hang around low vibrational energies or to do things, certain things. Like, I really feel like you're in it for the long haul. You're in it for the best life you can possibly live, and it's not going to come from hanging around crusties. So, all right, what is this reading about, Spirit? Honestly, it seems like a little hype sesh. You know, Spirit's congratulating you on your wins, which may have felt like losses. Yeah. What seemed like a win in now, you may have interpreted as a loss in the past, because you were losing out on people who didn't love and appreciate you correctly, which at the time, you know, may have messed with your self-esteem, but now you're realizing that was the blessing. That's what it feels like, because whatever this past situation is, let me tell you, it's not worth it. These situations were actually designed to kind of destroy the old version of yourself. Yeah, baby, we got the star card at the bottom of the deck. These situations, these people, these past situations, places, and things, anything that once was a source of pain, you can't make into a loving home, or you can't make into a loving person, a partner, because they were never meant to do that for you, to be honest. That's not what I'm getting from the cards. Like, maybe there was a timeline in this grand universe where they could have chose to do better, but it's simply because these people aren't going to choose to do better, that they're not supposed to be like, they're not supposed to fill that role in your life. Some of them might have manipulated you into thinking they were. That's on them. And some of them, they've been like that from the get-go, from the jump. And so, you know, take your time if you need to realize they're not going to change for you. But once you acknowledge that, then you are suggested to move on, because that's when your destinies are really going to kick on. Okay, with this Fool card, I'm getting that these situations were meant to inspire you to move forward, because it's kind of like, how can you go back if the bridge has been burnt? You know what I mean? It's like, well, don't look back now. You can't go back now. Like, you have to move forward. And sometimes, you know, and this is going to sound a little crazy, but, well, maybe not crazy, but that's how God works. You know, sometimes you're put in these situations where you're like, I don't get it. I don't see the lesson. What was that? What was the purpose of this? And the purpose was to get you to let go of the past. Just let go. Okay, there's a lot of cup energy. There's a lot of emotions here, obviously. And this whole row feels like why. The why. If you've been looking for the why did I meet these people? Why did these things happen to me? It is because you were meant to move on once these connections ended, once you learn the cycles, the lessons. And I'm going to be honest here, your life wouldn't be as bad if you weren't a good person. And so, and I feel weird saying this, but honestly, it may not have necessarily been like, I mean, yes, there were lessons to learn here, and that could have been why you met some people, and you can apply that meaning. But I'm also kind of getting this like, you know, it's just your destiny. Like, it really is just your destiny. Like, you didn't come here to live like everybody else, and you were born maybe to a very like, for me, for some of you, and this also applies to me, maybe you grew up in a very traditional household with very traditional norms, and you are not a traditional person. That was by design. Okay, you were placed there by God because you have the soul necessary to survive the heartaches that come from, because like, you might have met people like you outside of your family dynamics, or whatever you grew up in, or, you know, whatever your environment was, and who have a very similar personality, but they lived through different things. Maybe their lives were more cushy, they had more privilege growing up, maybe, you know, they had a different family dynamic. And so even though you guys are very similar, your experiences are ultimately what sets you apart. That, and it's most likely, you might be thinking or had the thought like, well, then why did, if they're just like me, like they're a light worker or they're a healer, why didn't they like go through the same BS? Because frankly put it, they can't handle it. They couldn't. They would combust and probably die. Like, do you get what I mean? Like, you are one of heaven's strongest soldiers, reincarnated into this lifetime, and I say that earnestly. And I mean, period, first of all, for you. But, you know, like, also, it comes at a cost. And what I'm trying to say here is, honestly, you are going to always be put on the path of the Most High. Like, you're not, God isn't just going to let you go. You know what I mean? And do whatever low vibrational things you and your crew can get away with. But more like, you are meant to be a light in this world. And sometimes you have to absorb the darkness to see where the light is, to guide others towards this light. And that is the challenge of this lifetime. Let me tell you, that is the challenge of this lifetime. Yeah, some of you may have even picked up some habits just to break them, just to show other people that they can do it. Like, maybe, you know, you might have grown up in a family where everybody expressed their anger in very explosive ways. And so you grew up how to express yourself. It was your mission to be able to express yourself without being explosive. Not only did you break a karmic cycle, but you just showed an entire like group of people who don't know how to manage their anger that they can do it. Like, it is possible. Just because you were raised in a certain way does not mean you were meant to stay stuck that way. And honestly, that could be it too. Like, part of it, like, what I'm getting here is like, you're not being punished. Like, please don't go home and think like you deserve the hardship, the heartache, that you did something wrong. Honestly, no, baby, you are doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. The thing is, you're chosen, so people can feel it. It's not something you can hide. You can't fake a frequency. I read that once and I was like, spot on. You can't fake a frequency. You can't pretend to be an earth angel if you're not. And the same thing applies. If you're an earth angel, you can't really pretend to be a demon either. Like, it's just like cute, but like, no. You know, you're like kurumi. Y'all know kurumi? Anyway. And so it's like, you are destined for something great, whatever that is, however that is for you. Maybe it could even just be to be a good person, but you will be put into environments, or you might even find yourself attracted to environments that are full of darkness, maybe like low vibrational people. You might enter these spaces just to elevate them, just to shake things up, because that's how change happens. And you know, it's not always the most fun to be on the receiving end of these things, but the way I see it, the way it's being presented in these cards, you are meant to abandon what rejects you. You know what I mean? If people don't want your healing, you're not supposed to waste it on them. You're supposed to keep going. It's like God doesn't want you to stay stuck in one place for too long. So in order to keep you in motion, the old must go so the new can come in. And you may have many of those moments in your life. You may experience this many times. You open your heart to people, and maybe they're not going to stick around for the whole season. Maybe they will. It's up to them ultimately. But the thing is, it's not like God is purposely trying to keep you away from these people. It's that these people are, I mean like, I don't want to be rude, but they're bad people. Okay, like, it's just not that they're hopeless. It's just like, in this current timeline, you know, where they are in life, they don't want to make the right choices. They don't want to. Simply put, because it's too hard. And you trust me, you know how difficult it is to love yourself, to choose the right thing. You know how hard it is to walk away from a relationship that does not benefit you or suit you, or that's toxic or low vibrational. Like, you've been through it many times, and you've had many rebirths, many deaths. Okay. And so it's a part of life, but some people reject it to the core. And you can't help those people, really. You're not supposed to stay stuck with them. You're supposed to show them the way, and it's up to them if they want to follow. And you know what? Maybe later in life, they'll meet you there. When they're ready, they'll come, but just don't. Honestly, it's like, I don't know, it may seem like God is setting a bunch of fires in your way for you to put all them out, but honestly, the reason isn't so that you put them out, but so that you leave the environment that's causing so many freaking fires. Like, what's going on here that every day a new fire shows up? Like, what? This is chaotic. And you don't have to burn yourself out. You can if you want to. That's your choice. But you've done that already, and you know what it's like. Like, you know what I mean. So it's these events occur, but what God really wants you to do, what your angels are guiding, your spirit team, your ancestors, what they're guiding you to do is move on after you've learned the lesson. You know, like, you don't have to leave before. Okay, but once you see the signs, you recognize them, learn to build a strong intuition. And then it's like all this happens so you can have this. And that's what you don't see in the moment. And that's what you don't get. But once you can remove yourself of all this baggage, all this burden that isn't even yours in the first place, then you can move on. Then you can have this new start. That's when your life starts to feel like it's in spring, like everything's growing, everything's plentiful, you know. And you don't really get here without this. After this, you know, like, you got to heal, and that takes time, and the universe will provide you with what you need during this time of sanctuary, but it's to help you get back on your feet so you can go out there and be a bad motherfucking ass. Okay. Sorry, hold up. Okay, I had to write something down. It was the title of this video. Haven't settled on what I want it to be called though yet, but I just had to write it down, otherwise I would forget. Okay, you guys, and so it seems like this reading is to kind of just connect with you real quick, and help you see some things, because I feel as though some of you might get lost in the sauce and the emotions of it all, and you know, really it's so that you can heal. But you might just feel like you're a curse, or you know, like that you're the problem. Like, what is it about you that causes so much destruction or chaos or whatever? Or like, why do people just feel the need to hurt you even when you mean them no ill? And that's just because those people are incredibly, like, damaged. Okay, they're broken on the inside. You have the ability to help them. It's just they don't want your help. So don't stay stuck trying to help somebody who's dead set on drowning. Like, they're just gonna take you down with them, and you deserve so much more. God has so much more planned for you, and you don't even know how protected you are. That's the other thing too. Like, you don't know. God don't play with you. He don't. And every setback you have is designed to help you succeed. That's another thing too. Every setback you have is designed to help you succeed, because it's going to force you to think in a new way, and it's going to force you to be more creative. Or maybe, damn it, the setback is the way that you get back on your feet. Maybe that's what you needed. Like, child, God don't play with you, or your protection or your safety. So rest assured in knowing that. We got the Four of Wands. This is a new situation, I feel. Yeah, no, it's not new. It's old. But it's different from what I was reading. God, this card wants to come out. Yeah, and this one does too. This Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, this King of Pentacles. This is someone who's a provider. This is just, I mean, their energy showing up as such because most likely they pay for other people. They support other people. And it's actually draining their finances more than it is helping them. Yeah, and this person is really stuck. Yeah, they're stuck on you. And it seems like it's as though the illusion they once projected onto you is what's keeping them stuck now. It's like this person could have once convinced you that they were your soulmate or that they loved you, right? And so you reciprocated in earnest, and this person may not have had the most authentic emotions, or maybe there's something else going on. But it seems like now that you've chosen to walk away, this person's life is falling apart, and now they are the ones who are stuck believing, and it's causing them misfortune too, because they're so obsessed with you that they're attracting very negative energy towards themselves, because it's like you're trying to move on and they're not letting go, so they're getting bad karma from that. And now it's like, yeah, with the Four of Wands, it's like this person cannot stand the separation that you guys are in. They can't stand it. They're constantly trying to find ways in their head to make amends with you, because now they're the ones who believe in the illusion they once casted over you. Like, they wanted you to believe like you weren't going to be anything without them, that like you needed them. It's weird. This is a weird person, you guys, but this is someone that was like, you need me, I don't need you, you have to do everything I tell you to do. And now this is the person that's like, I need them, I can't do anything without them. If I don't have this person in my life, I'm screwed, I'm gonna be cursed with bad luck until the day I die. Not realizing thinking like that is exactly what's manifesting it for them. So that's a lesson, that's a tough lesson they're gonna have to learn on their own. But yeah, this person, this King of Pentacles energy just showed up. It seems like they showed up to say two things: that they love you, they want to offer you something, and they're hurt and they're learning from their hurt. This person is also taking steps in the right direction. Yeah, they're taking steps. But this energy showed up for two reasons: to convey how hurt they are or were, it's more so like current, more than just past, but like how much they actually, like, it's expressing how much they love you. And then with the Nine of Cups, it's also like explaining how much they love you, or how they want to offer you a sincere love offer, something they were not able to do in the past. Yeah, but to be completely honest, yeah, and also they want to resolve conflict with you. Spirit, what is your honest opinion about this person? Hell no! Be patient with them. That's a message here. This is somebody who's very, like, weak on the inside. Like, fragile. And potentially, like, mentally disturbed. So you will have to be patient with them. Oh. This could be somebody that's looking for like a mother figure. Yeah, they're looking to kind of be parented. Sorry, like, not to be a bitch, but because the only way this is gonna work is if you kind of pull out the, okay, honey, I understand, you got a boo-boo, didn't you? And this person's like a grown ass adult. I'm gonna be so for real. The choices are like, isn't. There's two ways to look at this. You can see this person for the damaged, broken individual that they are, and they do need a lot of healing. They are in need of your light. That much is very clear. Now, is this person divinely orchestrated? Perhaps. Can you do better? 1000%. Do you deserve better? 1,000,000%. Yes, you 1,000,000% deserve someone better. Will you find someone better? 1,000% yes. It's just gonna take some time. Here's the thing though, this person is available, and if you're not fond of the wait game, like waiting, I can see how this person's tempting, but this person isn't fully healed. You can wait until they are, and that would be probably the best time. At this time though, this person is in search of like a mother figure. But they're also in search of like a yin to their yang. And I say mother figure, this is somebody with mother wounds. Okay, this is an individual with mother wounds, and that's what's coming up in this reading the most. It's what kind of causes their like actions, is like an unhealedness. And this person is trying, I'm sorry, they are trying, but to be honest, like when little kids mess up and then they like do like this cute, they write you a cute like apology and everything, and that's cute for little kids, but this is an adult. This is somebody who pays their taxes. This is someone who like owns cars, that can drive a vehicle. This is an individual that like has a mastery of the of the English language. Well, depending, I guess, if your person isn't like fluent in English, apply it to the language that they are fluent. This is like a grown ass adult. Like this is somebody whose brain is done developing. Like they could always grow better, right? But like their prefrontal cortex is done, and that's the last part of the brain. So that needs, like, anyway, this is a fully functional adult. Like, I'm sorry, like, do better. That's my thing. I'm like, you can so do better. But I'm not gonna lie, the energy is optimal. This is the message here too. Like, you could if you wanted to, and chances are, I don't know, like, maybe things will. I feel like you guys can make it work. Let me say that you guys could totally make it work. It's just like, yeah. Do whatever floats your boat. Let me just say that. Energy seems optimal. This isn't someone that's coming at you with the intentions to hurt you. I will say that. They don't have bad intentions. It's just that they're still kind of immature, and that's the problem. They're not done being immature. They need someone to teach them. I don't see the Hierophant here, but I do see the Empress. This is someone who's looking up to you for guidance. This is someone who's going to be looking at you for the next steps. And if it's on their healing journey, that makes sense. If you're more healed, more spiritually evolved than this individual. But if you're looking for an honest-to-God partner, this is someone that's going to be looking to you for leadership. But then, this is also someone who's pompous enough to take control when they clearly don't know what they're doing. Like, it's twofold. Like, this person's immature, inexperienced, but at the same exact time, they got a big ass head, so they're gonna sit there and try to convince themselves that they know. Anyway, I'm sorry. Like, personally, this person gives me the ick. I get the ick from this individual. It's just something about their energy ain't sitting right with me. It shows up in the reading. Yes, this is someone who comes into these readings a lot. The safer bet is to say no, but like, invest in a vibrator, because you will get more payout than this person. Anyway, let's see here, Spirit. What are the messages? What do you want to leave? How do you want to end this message for the collective watching? What do they need to hear at this time to motivate them? Motivation. We got fall into my arms, surrender, holding the opposites, extremes of life. I'll take one more card, Spirit. Yeah, we got the Earth School and the activated Earth. For Earth School, I am getting this message of, this is kind of explaining this person's journey. This person is going to, anyway, this card is kind of meant for this situation with this King of Pentacles. So keep that in mind when I read that. But yeah, we are whipping out the guidebook and seeing what she has to say. Fall into my arms. Okay, so the Great Mother ushers you in when you took your first breath, and she'll be there when you draw your last. She knows how challenging life can be, that being human can be lonely and confusing, that the polarity and separation can be excruciating when your soul remembers the oneness of Source, but at the same time, it can be incredibly glorious and sweet. So often, we see things are either good or bad. When things go well, we make it mean that we're being rewarded, and when things are bad, then perhaps we've done something wrong. However, we're all here to expand and grow, and it's through the extremes of life that we do exactly that. You're being invited to welcome the highs and the lows of the human experience, to let them initiate. I don't know why I blinked out. imitate? Okay, whatever. We'll just say to let them invite you to living a more full and happy life. The agony and the ecstasy, the beauty and the bitterness. This life is but a single breath in the inexhaustible experience of your existence, inextinguishable existence of your experience as a soul. Oh my God. The Great Mother wants you to hand over your loneliness, worries, hurt, sorrow, fear, burdens, and doubts, to lay them at her altar, to fully fall into her arms. To remember that while these extremes are difficult, they can also be magnificent. The more wildly the pendulum of your life swings, the more fully you can say, I have truly lived. There's also a starseed activation quote here. If you guys want, you can like take a picture and do that on your own time. I hope that you can see this well. Yeah, you can also see my crusty ass nail. All right, so let's do Earth School. Ta-da. Okay, we got life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning. Planet Earth is a great oh my God, why like am I blinking out on how to say this word? Invitation for the soul. Like what? Why am I blinking out on this? Like how do I? It's as if I cannot read this one word. Anyway, for the soul and life lessons after the curriculum for which we enroll, these aren't one-time lessons, but the themes we choose to circle around, deepening our experience of them as we make our way through this spiral of life. Life lessons aren't only about getting it right, they're also about getting it wrong. Remembering that Earth is a planet of polarity helps with this understanding. Each year, the study deepens more and more. If you pull this card while you're going through a difficult time, you're being prompted to remember that your soul came here to grow and learn. Try not to look at difficult times as getting it wrong. Instead, see them as an opportunity for soul growth. If you can find a way to grow and soften your heart through the highs and the lows, your soul is most definitely growing, which is the point. Pulling this card can also mean that you're being called to embark on a new era of study or growth. This can be through structured learning, such as university, school, or a training course. If you're having difficulties in a relationship, you're being reminded that the opportunities for soul growth, after all, relationships are known as the number one way that we grow as souls while we're on Earth. And then the Starseed Soul Inquiry. How are you being called to grow and learn? So I noticed a few things. Like there's a theme here about polarity in this Earth, and the important message here is like, don't take it so personally. I know I do, but you're not being punished when things get rough. Remember, at the end of the day, God is here to guide you, to protect you, to love you, to nurture you, to provide for you, but you will go through tough times with that, which is beautiful, but also incredibly painful. And there is this message here of forgiveness. You know, in a sense. But it seems like you'll learn it either way. Like whether you choose to forgive and forget to move on and try to do better, or you learn that by doing the opposite. Either way, it's as though the universe is telling you like, you are loved and respected either way. And to make the decisions you think are best for you. That's how you grow. So we got activated Earth, power lines, ley lines, trust when you're led. Oh, trust where you're led. Ley lines are invisible pathways on the land along which energy travels. They can be sensed when we tune into them with our subtle senses, also known as spirit paths. They've been compared to the Mediterranean system of the body used in Chinese medicine, meridian, and they link sacred sites, stones, and burial mounds and places of worship and worldwide. Okay, listen, I speak 3 languages and English. Okay, you guys have to understand, in other languages they don't do it like this. They do not do it like this. They do it better. Like, look, anyway, with that being said, back to my reading. In Australian Aboriginal culture, songlines were the paths traveled by the creator beings as they made the land and sea during the dreaming. These paths were recorded in the traditional songs and dances of the people, allowing them to access information about the land's history and to travel safely across great distances. Many believe that as we visit each sacred point on earth, something is activated within us. Some also believe that by connecting with the land with divination at these sacred places, something is activated within the planet too. Are you being called to travel to a sacred place that your soul remembers? Or to tend the land you live on, to honor and acknowledge the known and the unknown keepers of nature spirits of that land? As you connect with the earth and honor its keepers, the land opens up more fully to hold you. The fruits provide more nourishment and the guardians watch over you. Soul seed activation. This is another one if you guys are curious. Okay, so there was one other thing I wanted to say. So a place that I've always felt called to travel to is Japan. That's why one of the languages I speak is Japanese. And while I was reading this, it actually kind of reminded me of that. If you guys have a place like that too, you are being called by your soul to visit. It could be somewhere it remembers, or there could be some sacred experience you could have. So anyways, I hope these messages resonated with you. It seems like God just wanted to let you know, you're doing a good job. Things do seem kind of rough right now, a little scary, potentially even not the most uplifting. But yeah, you came here to be motivated, to continue on this path. You're not doing anything wrong. It's just the path that we're on. Unfortunately, people are going to be jealous of you for the blessings you get to have for doing the work. It's not as though you cheated. It's not as though you lied or whatever, right? You're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. And unfortunately, people are going to get mad when they realize they should be doing the same. And your goal in life is to not take that so personally and to let them go when they're no longer an energetic match. So with that being said, I love you guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. If you're curious about booking with me, I do private readings. You can check that out in the description below. And I hope you have a good one. Bye.